In this video, we're going to cover a new feature, and I say feature with the biggest air quotes ever, that Pinterest has recently rolled out. And this feature is called product tagging. Okay, let me show you what a pin tagged by Pinterest looks like. So if we search for kitchen remodel and we click on a pin from a blogger, right away you can see that Pinterest has automatically tagged vases on this pin. When I click on vases, it's going to show me product pins that are similar to the white vase in the photo. So the major problem with this feature is that this pin is no longer clickable, and instead you have to click on the link at the bottom of the image to see the blog post. And it's a similar situation on mobile. When you click on the pin in the app, it pulls up the product pin vases. And the only way to see the blog post is to scroll down and click on the visit button. So in general, this is pretty rude. I mean, Pinterest is basically hijacking our pins and trying to sell products that it thinks is related to what's on the pin. And when I first learned about this, I thought, okay, this is a blogger's nightmare. Like, this is gonna destroy Pinterest. But I started doing my own research, and I have one client whose pins are all affected. They're all tagged by Pinterest, and I'm not seeing a drop in traffic on that account. I'm actually seeing an increase in traffic. So I think that Pinterest users are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. But if you are seeing a drop in traffic and most of your pins are affected, luckily there is a way to fix your pins, and I will show you how to do that in this video. At the time of this recording, the most affected categories on Pinterest are architecture, which is basically anything home related, beauty, DIY and crafts, lawn and garden, again home related, men's fashion, women's fashion, and weddings. I'm sure they're going to push this feature out to other categories in the future, but for now, at the time of this recording, those are the most affected categories. So just so you can kind of understand what's going on, right after I became a Pinterest manager, Pinterest went public, and that was in April 2019. And there was a lot of speculation about how the platform would change now that it was a publicly traded company. And I think we're really seeing those changes play out now. So what's happening is Pinterest is favoring its verified merchants, and verified merchant status is very hard to get from what I've heard. And it seems to be mostly reserved for the big name stores, and these big name stores have big marketing budgets. So if Pinterest sends them more sales, they'll in turn allocate more of their marketing budget for Pinterest ads. So since this new feature doesn't really benefit us as bloggers and small e-commerce sellers, we are going to remove those products that Pinterest automatically tagged our pins with, and we're going to replace them with our own tags. So first, to check to see if your pins are affected, you'll want to check your ranking pins first. From what I can tell, this is mostly affecting older pins. New pins typically don't get tagged with products right away, but this is still very new, so we'll see what happens. But to find your most popular pins, go to Analytics, and then go to Overview and scroll down to Top Pins and start going through the list. Just click through and see if any of your pins are not clickable, if they have any products tagged on them. So if you find a pin that is affected, what you're going to do to fix it and make it clickable again is you'll click on the white tag icon at the top left of the pin, and then you're going to click on the plus sign to add products. So the interesting thing about tagging products is you don't actually have to tag a product. You can actually tag another one of your pins, and you can also tag a URL. So if this pin has nothing to do with products and you just want to tag your URL that it leads to, you can totally do that. I actually recommend doing that if you have to fix a bunch of these pins. So let's say this is not a product. I mean, this is not a product pin. It leads to a blog post. But I can select a similar pin or another pin that leads to the same URL. I'll click on that and select Save Product. Now this blog post does lead to a freebie, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the URL of the freebie, and then I can select a photo to use. and hit Save Products. So the URL feature is actually pretty versatile. You can put an opt-in page there. You can put an affiliate link if you have an affiliate product that matches up with your pin. And what happens when you tag a URL, Pinterest will automatically create a protected board for these special quote-unquote pins. Protected boards are not shown on your public profile page, but anyone with the URL can view them. And when you open the board, you'll see all the products that you tagged, but it will not add the pins that you tagged. So that first pin that I tagged doesn't show up here because it already lives on another board. If you end up tagging the URL of an affiliate product, you'll want to edit that tagged pin and make sure that you add either hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored in order to comply with the Pinterest rules for affiliate disclosure. So all of this research and this fix was shared by Carly Campbell in her Pinterest mastermind group that I'm a part of. But she also shared all of this information in her free group, so I feel totally okay sharing it with you guys. But if you're interested in networking and learning from a group of other really experienced bloggers who are also obsessed with Pinterest, I highly recommend joining this membership. It's actually a pin template membership, and the group comes free with that membership. So I'll leave a link below this video so you can check out that membership. Hopefully none of your accounts or your client accounts are affected by this, but luckily there is a fix for it. So I'm going to be spending a couple of hours on my one client that is affected, fixing those pins and see if I can get the traffic even higher. Even though his traffic is not down right now, I am going to go ahead and fix some of those pins and see what happens. I don't want Pinterest stealing traffic and directing it to products. It's just not cool.